Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Random Vlogging. So, today, first things first, long time no see. I haven't done random vlogging in probably close to a month now. And most of that has been due to the convention that I help organize for and I technically work for, well, volunteer for because they ain't paid me yet. Um, uh, that convention happened at the end of May. And so the weeks leading up to it, I had very little time because I was doing last minute adjustments and making sure everything was the way it's supposed to be. And then the weeks after it, I was exhausted. And I actually spent like the first 2 or 3 days after the convention was over because it was Memorial Day weekend. I got home from the convention because it ended at 6 on Monday. I got home from the convention like at 7:30, 8 o'clock because it was roughly about an hour away. And I left later than most because, again, staff. So, that night I went home and I just crashed because I'd slept like a total of 4 hours over the 4-day weekend. And then like the next 2 days I was awake for like 6 hours, and the rest of it was spent unconscious. So, sorry, it's been so long since I've done a random vlogging. I've just been recovering and getting back into the swing of things, like getting back into schoolwork and everything like that. But I had a couple things that I wanted to talk about today. First things first, if this is the only part of it that you watch, I'm going to do some shameless self-promotion, which is I have just released a new Draconic Calling for my custom class for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I published it on the DMs Guild. I believe it's dmsguild.com. But the class itself is called the Warlord, and it is a control-based class, something that has not really been focused on 5th edition, and I think it's a section of 5th edition that they're lacking. Because battlefield control can be one of the most powerful ways to influence just about everything. Like it's really, really cool and fun. So, yes, we will, if you guys want to check that out, there will be links for it in the doobly-doo. The second thing I want to talk about is, because I'm a masochist and can't help myself from doing crazy things that cause me lots of stress, I am organizing a Team Hooman Overwatch tournament. It's going to be July 9th. That's, I think, the second Saturday in July. And basically, the only requirements to play is you have to own a PC copy of Overwatch and be willing to call yourself a Hooman, which Hoomans are the greatest people on the internet, so I don't know why you wouldn't want to be a Hooman. So yeah, if you're interested in that, tweet me. I'm at Trainer Jody on Twitter, or go over to the Team Hooman Facebook page, and I'm posting about it every single day to kind of organize and everything like that. I will do all the organization. I will make teams and stuff like that for everybody. All you have to do is say that you're interested and be free on that day. I do want to talk about why I'm doing it, though. So I've made videos in the past talking about how Geek and Sundry itself has changed. Way back when Legendary first purchased Geek and Sundry, one of the first major things that happened was the Geek and Sundry Vlogs channel was taken away. They just said, no, let's not do it. And again, from a business perspective, that was actually a very smart thing to do. From a pure number standpoint, it was not making them a whole lot of money. To be perfectly honest, it was probably costing them money to make as opposed to making a profit for them. So they decided to cut their losses, which from a business standpoint is very important. However, from a community standpoint, and I've said this before, the Geek and Sundry Vlogs, the Vlogger Search, the channel itself, the interaction that they had with their fans, that was an insanely important part of what Geek and Sundry has become today. And Team Hooman can trace a lot of its roots back to the Vlogger Search. And a lot of, I would say, a majority of the moderators for not only Geek and Sundry, but for Felicia's channel and Ryan's channel, and all of the other Geek and Sundry Twitch channels, most of the moderators were people that were either very active on the Geek and Sundry forums or were moderators on the forums, and that's where they learned their craft. So in a way, when you factor in the community outreach and what it did for their community and their fan base, canceling, in my personal opinion, canceling the Geek and Sundry Vlogs channel was a bad idea. Because it showed their fans they were more interested in making money than creating a community. And that's what Geek and Sundry was founded on. When you look at the interviews that Felicia Day did when she first launched the channel, as part of the YouTube, I don't know, 100 Channels initiative or something like that. YouTube paid them to make the channel. She talked about she wanted a safe place for, geeks and nerds to be able to go and, to be geeks and nerds. And the Vlogs channel was an offshoot of that, and was a direct result of Felicia wanting to do that. And when they made the move to what I call Games and Sundry, where their entire focus right now is on stuff that they can put on their Twitch channel, because to be blunt, they're making bank off that channel. It is highly profitable. I mean, if you actually crunch the numbers of the stuff that we know, like we will never find out what they make in ad revenue, because they will never share that. And we will never know the exact number, the exact amount of money that they make off their subscribers, because that's something that they can actually negotiate with Twitch. And because they were already a large company, they probably negotiated a pretty good deal for that. But we do know that on average, and no Twitch partners are allowed to talk about this stuff. Since I'm not a Twitch partner, and I probably never will be, I can. On average, the subscriber button starts at half for you, half for Twitch. So with the fact that they're at over 19,000 subs, they're pulling in just from subs. And again, this is a ballpark estimate, but you're looking at anywhere from $35,000 to $40,000 a month just from subs. Now, they have a lot of operating costs and stuff like that. Running something like that is not cheap. So I have no idea what their actual profit margin on it is, but they are making money off of it. And so they made that switch to let's focus on the thing that's making us the most money, because that is a very good business decision. And all the decisions they've made since Legendary purchased them are phenomenal business decisions. Every single one of them. I'm currently earning a degree in marketing management, which is half business management and half marketing. And from a business management perspective, everything they have done is 100% a good idea. Like all the textbooks that I read, everything that I have learned in the 2.5 years that I've been doing this now, and the 5 years of retail experience and management and sales experience I have, everything they're doing is 100% right from a purely numerical business standpoint. However, one of the things I learned in sales is when you focus entirely on the bottom line, you lose customers and you lose money. And the most profitable thing you can do is invest in your customer base 100% of the time. I cannot tell you how many managers I pissed off because I would let customers walk out the door without buying anything because they weren't ready yet. And they would get mad at me and they go, "Why didn't you do that? We're going to write you up for it. You have to be making sales. Why are you not?" I said, "Because they're going to be back." It's like, "No, they're going to go to one of our competitors and our competitors are going to convince them to buy." I said, "No, they're not. They will be back. Trust me on this. Just give me this. If I'm wrong, you can fire me, whatever you want. Just trust me on this." So they did. And I would say 90% of the time. There is that 10% that did go to another, and because they got a pushy salesman, they made the purchase, and they didn't buy from me that time. But 90% of the time they came back. And when they came back, they asked for me. And when I met them, I go, "Hey, Joe, Lisa, it's great to see you. How are your kids doing? I know you told me that, little Johnny had a baseball game. I hope he did well. What can I do for you today?" And I would go and I'd sell them something. and they would buy from me personally, and then they'd leave, and then a few weeks later they'd be back. Oh, Jody, something happened with this. We don't know what's going on. Well, here, don't worry. I can fix it for you. And I'd get them another sale, and they'd be super happy, and they'd leave, and they'd come back. Hey, Jody, we want to do this now. What can you help us doing this? Oh, don't even worry about it. That's not my expertise, but this is my buddy here. His name is Jeff. Jeff is a master at this stuff. Go ahead and talk to him. He'll take care of you, and then let me know how it goes, because I want to know that you guys got everything taken care of, okay? And they would come back again and again and again. And then months would go by, and my boss would kind of corner me and go, wow, you know what? You're really, really doing well. Do you think you could help train some other people? Can you teach them your secret? I said, yeah, my secret is I let them walk out the door. And he goes, maybe you shouldn't be teaching people that. And the thing that it would always come back to is they'd be completely perplexed, because I'm doing exactly what their business degrees told them not to do. I'm letting people walk away, and I'm not focusing on the bottom line. Because the bottom line is every customer that walks in needs to walk out with something. Because anyone that walks into the store, there's a price tag on their head. You guys, if you've never worked in retail or sales, you don't know this. But in sales, someone that's really good at their job can tell you exactly how much every customer is worth. And what that means is they can tell you that every customer that comes into their store spends an average of this much money. And so that means every customer that comes in has a price tag. Let's say the average is about 23 bucks, because that's actually not an exorbitant average ticket for a small box retailer. So every customer that comes in is worth $23. Your goal to maximize sales is to make sure every single customer walks out of there with more than $23 worth of stuff. And that means you've done your job, because you know every customer is worth $23. And if they're walking out with more than $23 worth of stuff, you have done your job. I used to get facts and figures of things like every cart was worth $40, because the average customer spends more if they have a cart than if they walk around without one, because they can put more things in it than they can carry. So I knew that every cart in my parking lot was $40 that I was giving away, because I couldn't give it to a customer to make $40 off of them. And these are all the things that you learn in sales and that you learn in business management. And this is how I would assume the people at Legendary look at Geek and Sundry, and they look at the Twitch channel, is they go, okay, well, every viewer is worth this much money, and every show is worth this much money per minute, and things like that. And they find ways to maximize the amount of money they can get out of everything that they put out of there, and minimize the amount of money that they put into it. That is Business 101, folks. However, they are missing the same fact that all of my managers used to miss as well, until they got to know me, until they started trusting me. The idea of investing in your customers, investing in your audience, will pay back so much more than investing in the bottom line. 100% of the time. Now, it's significantly more work and requires a high amount of training and patience. It is incredibly expensive to invest in your customers, but it's so worth it. And so that's been one of the things that I haven't liked about Geek and Sundry. And I think it's one of the reasons that I love Critical Role so much, because as much as Legendary and Geek and Sundry to a point are not really focusing on this idea of invest in your customer base, Matt Mercer and Laura and Travis and Taliesin and Sam and Marisha and Ashley, they all get that. And they probably don't even realize that they're doing it. They just know that they care about their customer base, and they want to invest in them. They want to create these bonds. I just saw a video a little while ago of Matt Mercer playing Jenga with a bunch of critters, and I was blown away, because the interactions that you hear about with actors and with celebrities and things like that is that they keep uh, a wall between themselves and their fans, and there's a necessity behind that. It's necessary for them to do that for their own sanity, a lot of times for their own safety. I'm not saying that the wall is a bad thing, but from what I've seen with the cast, the wall is still there. Because again, it's part of being an actor, it's part of being a celebrity. You have to have a little bit of that wall. Um, but everything I've seen from these guys is they break down that wall as often as they can to invest in their audience base, invest in their customer base, invest in their friends. Um, and I don't see that happening as much with Geek and Sundry anymore. So the really long-winded reason I'm doing this, the real reason I'm doing this Team Hooman event is I miss the feeling of camaraderie that I used to get from being a member of the Geek and Sundry forums, that I used to get from being a part of the new vlogger army, which is what we used to call ourselves when those of us that didn't make it through to the Geek and Sundry Vlogs channel continued to vlog and continued to create content. We don't really have that anymore. The new vlogger army is gone. The closest remnant of it is the All for Geek Alliance, and now, as much as I try, the All for Geek Alliance is not what it once was. And I'm trying as hard as I can to build it up again, and it's one of the reasons this thing is happening. I want the camaraderie again. I want Team Hooman to be the community we used to have. I want the barriers to break down between the celebrities and those of us in the audience as much as they can, as much as is safe. I want to see us hanging out together, and I want to see us becoming a family again. Like, the people I met through the vlogger search are my closest friends in the world now. I've had times where I have had crises in depression that they've been able to talk me out of. I've had a crisis in faith recently that I was able to go to one of my vlogger friends, and he was able to help me out with it. Like, these people are my family. Which is saying something when my own family is so screwed up and abusive. And that's what I want Team Hooman to be. And I think there's a lot. I think there's potential there for that to happen. If you've been to the Team Hooman Facebook page, I hate Facebook vehemently, cannot stand it. But I go on there every single day to go to the Team Hooman Facebook page and interact with other Hoomans. It's a fantastic, wonderful, uplifting place for the most part. Every so often there's shit, but for the most part, it's a great place. But we're still separated by cyberspace. We're still separated by oceans and continents and all these other things. And I'm hoping by doing this tournament that we will start to create bonds and form friendships and families that can only really exist when you do things together and you experience things together. We used to have it with things like Mia Hasn't Seen Shit, I think is what it was called, where we would watch movies with the two broke geeks. I have a story about that where they saved me from a very, very dark time in my life simply because we watched a movie together on Netflix. I want more events like that where we can all come together and we can cheer for each other, we can laugh together. And so that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing something that takes an insane amount of time and a lot of organization and a lot of headaches. And I have a lot of ideas to make it really fun for everybody, not just the people playing, but the people watching. I'm putting so much time and effort into this because I want us to be a family again. I want us to have that warm, open, embracing feeling every time somebody comes to the Team Hooman Facebook page, or somebody tunes in to the Geek and Sundry Twitch channel, or somebody turns on a Geek and Sundry video on YouTube. Like, we used to have that, and I think a lot of it has been lost because Geek and Sundry, who used to be the ones that were creating it, no longer can. They're owned by someone else, and Legendary doesn't quite think in that direction. They're traditional media, and that's how it works. It's how it's always worked for, God, since the 30s, when media was really starting to take off and motion pictures are becoming a thing, you know. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this. I want to create a family again, and I think we have the potential to do that. I just think there needs to be some people that are actively going out of their way to create these situations and these events where we can come together as a family and enjoy each other and participate. And I don't think Geek and Sundry can do that anymore. They're a large corporation. They have their own things that they have to deal with. Even when they do make events, there's a very clear separation between the people on the screen and the people watching. With Team Hooman, we don't have to have that separation. The ones that are in chat can show up on screen and nothing bad happens. And, you know, that's how it has to be. You know, I mean, Geek and Sundry can't be that way. It's just doesn't work that way. So I know I've been rambling for a long time, but this is something I've been trying to get out for a while, and I just haven't had the time. So those of you that got to the end of the video, thank you. Any of the former New Vlogger Army members, or anyone that used to post on the Geek and Sundry forums, or anyone that was one of the first subscribers to the Geek and Sundry YouTube channel back when all it was the guild and tabletop, if you would be so kind, in the comments below, share one of the stories that we all have of an amazing family experience that you had with your fellow Geek and Sundry fans. I would love people to be able to see what it used to be like, because it's not that way anymore. And I'm not saying that as a dig against Geek and Sundry or a dig against Legendary or anything like that. Things change, that's how it works. But I think a lot of the newer members don't really know what it was this used to be. And I would really love for all of you guys and girls to be able to share that and show them what it used to be and what it can be if we work at it. All right? That's all for me today. I will see you guys probably Monday. As far as stopping the stigma, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that in every other week thing, because each episode takes a lot of research, and I just don't have the time to be able to do it once a week. So there will not be a Stopping the Stigma this Monday, hopefully next Monday. Other than that, again, that's all for me, and I will see you guys next time, all right? Bye-bye!